So I'm not sure if you can tell by the dark bags under my eyes, but sleep has been evading me lately. And I often get these little bouts of insomnia just every now and again, every couple of months or so. It's just like, I don't know, it's like I get punished. It's like life says, okay, it's enough sleep. You can spend a few nights sitting wide awake with yourself so you can process things. Perhaps that's the reason. I'm not sure. But long story short, I have these terrible bouts of non-sleep. And for any of you who can relate to what that feels like, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. Not being able to sleep, especially when you want to sleep. It's not like I'm trying to keep myself up till 3 in the morning most mornings. I want to sleep. I want to feel energized. I want to feel good and confident and full of energy and ambition and life, you know. But no matter what I try to do, it's as though my body just says, nope, not right now. We're not ready to sleep. And as many of you can perhaps relate, the first thing we try to do when sleep doesn't happen or we feel as though something's going wrong in our lives, this doesn't necessarily need to be insomnia. This could be anything, right? So as soon as we realize there's a problem at work or there's a problem in the gym or there's a problem in a relationship, oftentimes our first reaction is, let's go into Bob the Builder mode, right? I can fix this. Bob the Builder, can we fix this? Bob the Builder, no, it's fucked. As the cheeky rhyme would go. But we often try to take control of the situation. And this is a very normal human reaction because there are so many things in our lives that when we put in effort, when we put in intention into making something better than what it is, especially when that thing has a direct correlation between the action and the result. For example, the gym, right? The more you go to the gym and train and the more healthy you eat, you will get better results as a whole. Generally speaking, right? When there is a linear relationship between action and progress or action and outcome, we tend to see progress. However, and unfortunately, sleep, as well as many other things in life, and in this video, I'd like to argue that it's more things than you realize. There are a lot of things in life that just simply cannot be outworked and paradoxically require another approach. An approach that often stares us right in the face, but because we are so stubborn as human beings and because we believe that if only we tried harder, if only we did more and gave it our best, you know, only then things would change. And this is the exact approach I always take whenever I'm not sleeping. First thing I do is, okay, I need to get into bed earlier. I need to start wearing my blue light glasses. I need to stop consuming caffeine before 12. I need to read books, calm my mind, maybe do a little bit of meditation. I've got this beautiful plan, right? I've watched Andrew Huberman's entire podcast on sleep. I have a perfect understanding of the effects of sunlight in my eyes in the morning. I've got it all down. Right? And as a self-improvement junkie, maybe you can relate to that problem too, I often over-research these things and I make sure that I'm fully equipped to deal with it. And then I don't sleep. And no matter what I do, paradoxically and frustratingly, it's as though the things I try to do to help sleep come along make it even more difficult to fall asleep. I'll be lying there in bed, having done all these amazing things, having gotten into bed at the right time, having worn my glasses and not drank the coffee, wada. I still sit there and it's like, no, it's not happening. And it's at that moment, every single time, without fail, that I come to the obvious conclusion and the obvious solution to this type of problem. And that solution is to surrender. It's to paradoxically give up the fight. It's to stop trying. To say, you know what? I accept the situation that I currently find myself in. And sometimes, as hard and difficult as it is to do and as much humility as it requires, sometimes the only thing you really can do is throw your hands up in the air and say, this is my situation right now. And funny enough, it's from that place of full acceptance, a full willingness to be with that experience, that suddenly sleep happens. All by itself, you tend to doze off, you wake up and you say, wow, as soon as I was okay with not sleeping, as soon as I came to this understanding that I don't feel good right now, I'm not sleeping and it sucks. I'm not seeing the results in whatever area of my life and it doesn't feel good. But I'm humble enough to realize that sometimes it's not about my capacity to control. It's about my capacity to hold, my willingness to feel and experience. And then suddenly it drops and the problem resolves itself. And like I said, I'd like to argue that there are so many things in life, perhaps 90% of things in this life, where surrender truly is your only option. And it really is the most intelligent way for you to deal with your problems. And even though in this video, I'm not trying to say don't do the good things. This is where it gets tricky. And I think a lot of people get this point confused. Am I saying that getting into bed at a reasonable time and wearing blue light glasses and not being on my phone in bed and watching TikTok videos, am I saying that you should not do those things? That it's okay to just do all the bad habits and expect things to be fine? Of course, that's not what I'm saying. You should always take the best action possible in order to do what you deem to be the right thing. But, and this is, I think, the key distinction with this type of process and everything in life, you need to start with the acceptance first. You need to start in a state of surrender first. And then from that place, move into positive action. Because in doing this, the action almost inherently comes from a different place. The easiest way I could describe this is feelings of self-worth, right? Confidence is a great example for this topic. And a lot of people, like myself, have gone throughout life thinking, you know what, I am not confident. Here's where I am currently, right? I'm at this level. I'm not worth love and respect and self-esteem. And if only I take A, B, and C steps and work really hard and do all the right things, which are, for example, I hit the gym and I get my physique in order. I speak positively to myself. I challenge negative thoughts. I put myself out there more. I blah, blah, blah. There's 1,000,001 things you can do for confidence, right? As soon as I take those steps, then I will be confident. You've been in this situation before? And if you have, tell me, how did that work out for you? Did you become more confident? Perhaps in the short term. But the big question is, and the only thing to really consider is that, did these actions solve your problem in the long term? For me, I've done all these things, right? I've done all the work. And sure, in brief moments, I feel good, I feel confident. But there's always a moment where the opposite happens. I question my worth. I have a slip up, I say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden, I challenge that very notion that, am I even confident? Because in that moment, the external world reflects the fact that maybe I'm not as confident as I thought I was. And the problem is, the major thing that we don't often see is that we subconsciously tell ourselves in the back of our minds that if I do A, B, and C, then I will become confident. But what does that tell you on a subconscious level when you are trying to get to a place? It is telling you that you are not at that place. By trying to become more confident, you only reinforce the idea that you are not confident to begin with and that you are broken and you need to be fixed. Sinister, right? It's the exact same thing when it comes to sleep. You do A, B, and C. You hit your head on the pillow early, blah, blah, blah. You do all these things to get to bed. But what happens as soon as your head hits the pillow and your goal is, I must sleep. I need to get to sleep. Right? Your brain knows, oh, I am not asleep. I need to figure out sleep. So what does it do? It monitors you. It monitors your performance in falling asleep. But sleep is not a performance. Sleep isn't even an action. Have you ever decided, I'm going to sleep, if, like right now, you said to yourself, Snap my fingers and I'm asleep. Could you do that? It's impossible. Why? Because sleep is not an action to take. It is a natural process that happens all on its own. When your body is ready to sleep, you will sleep. And it's only when you give up on trying to sleep, your brain will stop monitoring the fact that you are not sleeping yet. And then sleep happens. It's the same with confidence. Once you stop thinking that I need to do things to become confident, confidence happens on its own. You realize that all these things are just barriers for you to feel confident right now. They are things that are blocking you from realizing that you, as a human being, are inherently worthy, are inherently deserving of love, are inherently good enough to be naturally confident. You think a child comes out the womb and is like shy and timid and quiet? Do you think a child at 2 years old sits there feeling hungry and needing to get their nappy changed? This says, okay, it's fine. I'll just keep quiet because, my needs don't deserve to be expressed right now. It's nonsense. The child will scream. That's your natural state. You've only forgotten it because you've had moments in your life, experiences that made you believe that you were not already there. And so you keep striving to be at a place where you already exist naturally. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't require any more efforts. It doesn't require you to be anything more than you already are. What it requires is the art of surrender. Giving up, letting go first. Because as I said, it's from that state of letting go that the actions you take are from love, from joy, from inspiration. And when you are not starting from a place of surrender, going back to the original point I was trying to make, wow, we took a hell of a detour, but I'm getting there. When you take an action that's not from a place of surrender, you are going upwards. Remember, it's like you start here and you need to take steps to get there. But what if you were already there? And surrender is just to let go of all of the things, all of the ladders, the barriers, let go of all this stuff, so that you can realize that it was just an illusion. I am already good enough. I am already a normal human being who needs sleep, and sleep will happen to me by itself. I am already a human being that is deserving of love and confidence. I don't need these things. So I let go of needing to be confident. And then your brain stops this misunderstanding that you need to do something to be confident. It's all about surrender. And even the term surrender is terrible to use because people say, okay, I'm going to do surrender now. This is a problem as well. Because you think, okay, surrender. No, I got you. It makes sense. Now I'll just try to surrender. I'll just say, okay, surrender, surrender, surrender. But now what are you doing again? Instead of starting from here, you are doing again. You are trying to surrender to get to the place, but you're already there. Natural state, right? There is nothing to do. And maybe you say to me, okay, now that's nice, but that doesn't help me. What do I do then? Because I need to do something, right? The best advice I can give you that's helped me the most in my journey of surrender and letting go is to replace the word surrender and letting go with let it be. Willingness is another good word. All you need to do is start to sit and allow this state that you are experiencing at this current moment. Practical example for sleep. It's only when I decided to stop thinking that there was something wrong with feeling tired and anxious and like I needed sleep to function. When I could sit with those uncomfortable feelings and that fatigue and that worry and be fully okay with that fact, that is when surrender happens. Confidence. It's when I sit in a group of people. Surrender doesn't happen or doesn't need to happen when you're by yourself. You can be in a group of people and feel all that anxiety and feel that stress and feel that pressure and the need to perform. But if you can sit there in that moment and say, okay, I'm feeling all this stuff right now. These things are not a problem to be solved. I just need to be okay with feeling like, am I okay with feeling anxious right now? Am I okay feeling not confident? Can I sit with this feeling? Because at the end of the day, that's all it is, right? It's just sensations. Can I sit with these sensations, these bodily feelings, and just act despite it? Once you can honestly answer yes to that question, and Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right? The letting go process by David Hawkins. Sometimes you have to sit with it, close your eyes, and really just allow it to be there. You find that the feelings dissolve by themselves. And then paradoxically, the pressure's off. And you sleep, you speak to people, you find the inspiration to be confident, and that's when the beauty happens. You are doing things now from a place of love, from freedom, from wanting to enjoy your life, rather than from a place of fixing, from I'm broken, I am unworthy, I need to be more. And that is when you really start to enjoy this beautiful thing called life. When you start to surrender, let go, and allow all experience to simply be.